When I was at work, I got this little dead crepe myrtle, and it'd been dead. Man, I think it's been dead about a year. Picked it up, just grabbed it, and it popped right out of the hole. Maybe like a 15-gallon size. And when I did it, I noticed it had shot hole borer damage. So I thought it'd be really cool to take it home and just, cut it open to look at the galleries, right? So then I just put it in the back of my trunk, and as I did that, I noticed that they were, the sticks had damage, like some frass was coming out of them. So even like now, you could see the powder. That's why I put them in a bag. I didn't realize that when I had them in my trunk, I still had, there's beetles in there. So let me see. This might be some beetle right here. So here's some of them right here on the bottom. There's little tiny things you hard to see. Anyhow, I bagged it up, and I figured I'll still want to cut into it. And what I'll end up doing is probably burning these. They really don't go after dead trees; they go after healthy trees. But I understand that they don't eat the tree itself. And that was really interesting to me, is these things were way dead, and you could see, I don't know if you could see these tiny holes. That's the damage that the shot hole does, right? Really minor looking. So what I wanted to do is just a little bit of cutting and just look at the galleries. So let me put it up here and let me cut into this real quick, see if I can, hopefully it don't take too long, but, and just see. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Wow. So they're tunneling. They're not really going too deep into this one. Let me turn this and go this way. I'll go another direction. Actually, maybe one more level. Hang on, let me see if I can go a little bit further in with the chisel. Let's see if I can go one more smack here. Okay. Oh, see, now I got a beetle. I'm just gonna squish this guy. Let me see. I don't want him to be running around. Oh, is that another beetle here? Fusarium is a fungus that some trees really die quickly if they get it in their system. So, yeah, pretty clean on this side. Yeah, so they have that fungus. And what happens with the fungus is it'll go inside the tree. It's really not visible here, but the fungus will grow inside the xylem of the tree, and these beetles, they eat the fungus. But the fungus has the ability to kill the tree. So that's what's really scary about these guys, and they've been knocking out a bunch of trees. Anyhow, pretty interesting. In a little bit we'll show you some clips of trees. Well, here's a close-up of the piece that I was trying to look at. You can see the galleries and the frass in the galleries. The frass is what the beetle leaves behind when it goes to the bathroom. And that white section, I'm assuming that might be some fusarium. I'm guessing there's not, fusarium is a fungus that they inoculate the tree with. And it doesn't seem like there's very much in this. And I'm guessing because it's been dead a long time, so it's probably not growing very well. So anyhow, what also we wanted to do is we have a digital microscope. So what we wanted to do is get a real close look at this guy. So we got set up with, after we found the beetles, we put them in a baggie, and then we got the microscope and we went to town looking at these little guys. This is a Polyphagous Shot Hole Borer, and he's really tiny. If you look at a pen, the hole they make is about, a ink pen. The hole that you have is about, that's how wide he is. So we really zoomed up close, and we got a couple of sides of him. We also were able to see the underside, which is really pretty cool. I'd never seen him close up, or actually this is a she. I think the males are smaller than this, and with these, the males and females, when they drill into the tree, they go and they start to live in the tree. And when they live in the tree, they spread that fungus. So once the eggs hatch, the males and the females, they mate. They're brothers and sisters. They mate. They start having a family, and those new offspring, they go outside the tree. What was really interesting is we found a larva, one I'd never seen before, a larva, and we got a close-up of that with the video. Anyhow, once they hatch and they make a family, then what they'll do is they'll go outside the tree and maybe go back into the same tree or start going to other trees in the area. So this is a real good close-up of it, and I honestly had never seen a real close-up of it. So I'm happy to show you guys this. They were found back in 2003 near Los Angeles. I don't know where exactly, but they were found, and it wasn't really a problem. They just found them in a tree, a bunch of little holes, and further on, we come up to 2013, 2014. Now it became a problem. It was spread through Los Angeles, San Bernardino, and Orange County. And here's some of the damage on a California sycamore, a Platanus racemosa, and this is a tree that was in one of our parks. So there's a close-up of it. You could see that the holes are really tiny and really insignificant. I mean, if you saw this on the tree, you wouldn't think anything of it. Plus, there was another thing called a lacewing that would actually live in the bark of California sycamore. So a lot of it didn't even pay attention to it. But then what started happening is, in 2014, these branches like this started breaking off, these 80-foot, 3-4 foot diameter California sycamores. Now you could see the damage. A lot of the exterior, the outer rings are just dead. And my guess is from the fusarium. That fungus, it just would start clogging the pores of this California sycamore, start to die, and they'd start breaking apart. You could see only in the center there's some good healthy wood. But this limb was huge. 12-inch diameter by a good 35, maybe 40 feet long. And there was even larger limbs than this. So when this started happening, I got a hold of a friend of mine, a guy named Donald Hodell. He came to the park and he inspected with me, and then went and he conferred with some of his colleagues, and then he explained what the shot hole borer was. And so you know, by looking at the tree and seeing that the xylem, the beetle were far past the xylem. If you treat these beetles were going in and out of the tree. The chemical that you would treat for this, it probably would do nothing to the beetle. So we figured the best action in this park was to start removing these trees. I had like a stand of 60 of them, and we had to remove them. Also down one of the streets that were adjacent to this park, had another 60 of these large sycamores that we had to remove. And yeah. In the same park, I noticed this jacaranda that had been attacked, and it was only actually specific to one branch, and the rest of the jacaranda was fine. Really interesting how the beetle attacked all these huge sycamores, and then this one jacaranda, it only attacked one branch. And I have a stand of jacarandas in this park, and the beetle really didn't touch any of the other ones. And in the same one here, it still stands. It only attacked one branch. It was really kind of odd. And in the same area, we had some bottle trees, something called a Brachychiton populinus. Anyhow, I don't have a picture of it, but in that bottle tree, what the bottle tree did would push out sap, and I'm assuming that when it pushed out the sap, it was also pushing out the fungus and the beetle, which was really interesting. The bottle tree stayed alive, and yeah, so it was really interesting how the sycamores died quickly, but the jacaranda stayed alive, the bottle tree stayed alive. And then this picture right here is a different area. It's not in the same park. It's a Chinese flame tree. It's a Corotaria bipinnata. Now this Corotaria bipinnata, as you could see, the sap is pushing out. So I feel like it was the same thing as a bottle tree, where as this is sapping out, it was pushing the fungus out and also the beetle. So these trees remain. Really interesting. We also have another tree in the city. I don't have a picture of it, but the other tree is called a golden rain tree. It's a Coritaria paniculata. Well, that one, it wouldn't sap. So in the same way that the California sycamores died, those Coritaria paniculatas, they died equally as fast, started breaking apart. But these Chinese flame trees, they continue to live, which is really great to have happen without having to treat. So I was around that same time, around 2014, we had another park. It's actually on the other end of town. It was on the western side of the city. We had these London plane trees. They are a Platanus acerfolia. That's the name that I know them by, but actually I think they updated the name, so the new name is Platanus hispanica. Well, these London plane trees were being attacked, and while they were being attacked, you could see they had, holes. They were fewer holes than what the California sycamores had, but what this tree did, it would also do the oozing of sap, and I believe that it was pushing out the fungus and also the beetle, because in time they started to turn around. You had all this damage, but a few years later, to this day, 2022, all those holes got calloused over. The trees are surviving and they're living. It was really, really interesting to see that these trees, I thought I was going to have to remove all these London plane in this park, like I removed the sycamores in the other park, Cerritos Park East. But actually, to this day, they're living and they're surviving. So yeah, this beetle is it's a very aggressive beetle. I believe that it was attacked. There was like 39 at one point. It was 39 different species of trees that it was attacking. I have found a few species that are surviving, which is great. I have a lot of them that I had to remove. With this beetle, it's best not to collect firewood and take it places. If you notice that if you have firewood and has beetle hole damage, like I was showing earlier, it's best not to take it. If you remove a tree, it's better to keep it in the area, maybe by chip the logs up if you can. I understand that there was a time where they were telling people to put large plastic tarps on it, let it sit out to try to heat up the logs to kill the beetle. But you definitely don't want to get firewood and take it to other places, because then this could spread. It'll spread, and it really attacks trees that are healthy. It doesn't really go after the weak trees. So I had a pretty crazy experience with this beetle. It was something that I never knew before, and experiencing this, learning how to deal with it. The thing that I would say is, if you happen to notice this, you might try to get a hold of your cooperative extension in your area. Let them know. If you happen to remove a tree, just make sure you don't take the wood away, or see what you can do to maybe tarp it. You might even look up online under the Polyphagous Shot Hole Borer. There might be a lot of information for you to learn about it, and if you happen to remove it, what you can do. So anyways, this is an experience that I had. I had a great time with that microscope to see the beetles up close. I was really surprised when I took that the pieces of wood, or that crepe myrtle, home, and I found that there was still beetles alive, because that wood had been I'm sure dead for about a year, and I was really surprised that they were living in the tree still. So what that tells me is that, yeah, definitely, if you see that holes in that wood, it's something that you wouldn't want to take away. And like what we're going to do in the video where we burn the wood, that's one way of getting rid of it. It's kind of hard to do that to large wood. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video about the Polyphagous Shot Hole Borer. And I was just really interesting, and I thought it was something I'd like to share with you guys. Anyhow, I hope you guys like it. Comment, like, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell if you like what we do. And by all means, share our videos with your friends. All right, take care.